everyone. My name's Kelsey Grace, and this is my presentation on fostering a growth mindset in mathematics. Just a little context that this presentation would be presented to families or parents, and I teach first grade, so just a little background. So let's get started. First, what is growth mindset? Well, a mindset is a self-perception or self-theory that people have about themselves. And research tells us now that intelligence is not fixed and we are not just born smart. So our research has also told us that our brain's plasticity means that it has the ability to grow and learn new things all throughout our life. So whether you're in childhood or adulthood, your brain has that ability to learn new things and to grow. So in summary, everyone is capable of learning anything. Everyone is capable of learning anything. So here I just have some different characteristics for people that have growth mindset and fixed mindset and some of the beliefs that they may have about themselves, so we can kind of contrast the two. So I'll start on the left. So people who have a growth mindset, they believe that intelligence comes from hard work. They can always improve themselves. Challenges are things that can be embraced because they're good at problem solving and working through those challenges. They believe that effort equals success, so they put in that hard work and then they get that reward at the end. Their brain is growing, they're learning new things. And also they are people who show perseverance, so they don't give up easily. And on the flip side, someone who has a fixed mindset, they believe that intelligence is something that they're born with, that it's something that cannot be changed. It is fixed from the moment they are born. They don't have the ability to improve themselves. Again, these are their own beliefs. They believe that challenges are things that are hard and they should be avoided, and that effort is irrelevant because my smartness is fixed, and they give up easily when things get hard. So something that I didn't mention about these characteristics and beliefs of someone with a fixed mindset, they don't have a ton of accountability for themselves. For example, if a student feels that something is hard and they have a fixed mindset, they believe that, well, I'm not ever going to get to learn it because I'm not somebody who is smart and I don't have the ability to do it, and then they lose that accountability for working through that problem and actually trying to learn. They give up that effort. So that's another characteristic that fixed mindset unfortunately has. So here I have just a visual. It kind of goes along with the characteristics and beliefs that I've already talked about between the two different mindsets. So you can always come back to this part and read a couple of the two. Some of them are the same as what I've talked about, and some of them are just a little bit different, such as growth mindset. People might take criticism a little bit better. They might find inspiration in other people's success, whereas on the flip side, fixed mindset people may take criticism really personally, or whenever somebody else is successful, they might feel threatened by that. So there's just a couple more for you to look at. And I really like this visual about growth mindset and fixed mindset because, again, you can always go back to read these and I won't read them to you, but on the left-hand side, I feel the most important pieces are that they have those words success and grit there. So people who have growth mindset end up being successful and they end up having that grit within themselves because they're able to work through, they don't give up until they find that ability or new talent or whatever it is they want to learn. They work hard to get there. And again, on the flip side, someone with a fixed mindset, they have a lot more frustration within themselves because they just give up easily when something is hard. They do not embrace challenges, and it results in a lot of learned helplessness. So if I go back to that student example, when they don't have accountability for themselves, it's learned helplessness. I can't do it because I'm not smart. That's just an excuse that's thrown out. It's not true because research tells us that we can learn and our brains are able to grow and learn those new things. So if you're still wondering some different characteristics or anything about growth mindset, I do have a video here. Now this video is 2 minutes, so just for time's sake, I'm not going to play it during this presentation. You may always go back to it and I can copy and paste the link for you. So this is John Spencer's video on growth mindset versus fixed mindset, and I just really like the visuals that he uses and the way that he talks about the two. So if you are still interested in watching that, you can copy and paste that into your browser, or on my STEM website, if you go under growth mindset and the family resources, I have that video embedded there, so you could always find it there as well if you are interested. So why growth mindset? Why am I talking about this for our students? Well, a psychologist, Carol Dweck, found in her studies that students with a growth mindset embrace challenges, work hard, and outperform those with a fixed mindset. I've talked about those things before, but the biggest part of that one is that they end up outperforming those who have a fixed mindset and often stay stagnant where they're at and achieving in school. So when a mindset is changed from fixed to growth, the learning experience becomes more positive and successful. Again, going back to that visual with the tree, success and grit, and then failure and learned helplessness. Or frustration, and learned helplessness. We don't want students to feel helpless and to feel frustrated when they're learning. We want them to have that positive side of feeling successful and working hard. We want them to have that growth mindset. So I want to talk about the word smart. So calling someone smart or believing that you're smart within yourself, it actually is a fixed mindset message, and that can be damaging to our students. And this is really important because a lot of us may not have known this, so I really wanted to point this out for you. This word and belief, it increases anxiety and stress over the possibility of failure. So what happens is these people, when they're told that they're smart, that's fixed. That means that I am a smart person. Yet when you fail, and we all do because that's life, so whenever they hit that failure, they now believe I am no longer smart because I have failed, and they fall below that expectation. So that's why it's a fixed mindset message. And this just results in students who are told that they're smart, avoiding challenges and often just taking the easy way out for fear of failure that they might have. And valuing mistakes, this is another really, really awesome study. So psychologist Jason Moser, he found that our brain recognizes when we go through a mistake, and this results in growth because our brain goes through a struggle when a mistake is made. So this is just a quote from Joe Bowler. Individuals with a growth mindset had a greater awareness of errors than individuals with a fixed mindset, so they were more likely to go back and correct errors. Now, I will say you don't have to correct your errors for your brain to grow, but she's just saying that those that had a growth mindset were more capable because they were more aware of going back to correct those errors. Also, our brain reacts greatly to mistakes, and it results in higher brain activity, again, because of the struggle that it goes through whenever it recognizes a mistake. Mistakes also create new synapses in our brains. And another quote from Joe Bowler: mistakes are not only opportunities for learning as students consider the mistakes, but also times when our brains grow, even if we don't know we have made a mistake. So that's kind of what I was saying. You don't have to recognize that you've made a mistake because your brain has, and it's still growing regardless. So in summary, mistakes are good for us, and they should be valued and celebrated. And I'm going to come back to that point a little bit later when I talk about what we can do at home to support our students. So growth mindsets in math. When students see mathematics as a set of ideas and relationships and their role as one of thinking about the ideas and making sense of them, they have a mathematical mindset. They're no longer a human calculator that's thinking about the procedures and just the rote memorization to get that final correct answer. They're thinking about concepts and deeply understanding how these things are related to one another, and that's a mathematical mindset. So mathematical mindsets allow students to excel in 3 different aspects of mathematics, and I'm going to show you a visual on that, versus focusing on just those computational procedural skills and getting the correct answers. So they will be able to problem solve and accept challenges and be able to deeply understand their math concepts, like I've said. So here are those aspects of mathematics. So we have the problem solving, the computational and procedural skills, and the conceptual understanding. And when all of those things come together in a balanced way, the middle there says doing math, but I would change that to say mathematical mindset. So when you have all of those things balanced and coming together, that's whenever you're achieving the mathematical mindset. Growth praise is something that's really important. So when we talked about that word smart a little bit earlier, this is going to help in that area. So when students are given fixed praise, for example, being told they are smart when they do something well, they may feel good at first, but when they fail later, and everyone does, they think that it means they are not so smart after all. So we talked about that. So growth praise helps students to grow their mindset and encourages positive, productive beliefs about themselves. The impact of praise students receive can be so strong that it affects their behavior immediately. So it might be a fixed mindset message like you're so smart, that affects them immediately, or we can change that to be growth praise and have it affect them immediately in a more positive way. So let's see how we can help our students grow. If you're stuck in your ways of saying you're so smart, here are some examples that you can say instead. That is an example of growth praise. These are also available on my STEM website. If you go under growth mindset, under family resources, I have this visual here. If you need it at any time, you can always come back to it. What can families do to support? Well, first, let's change the way that we speak about math and our ability to learn at home. So avoid saying messages such as, I was never good at math, or it's just not your thing, you're a reader, or I know it's hard, but just get it done. These are things that are telling students they don't have to be accountable for the challenges that they come across in math because it's just not their thing, or their mom wasn't good at it, so they don't have to be good at math. Let's change the way that we talk about that. So talk about how our brain grows. Accept mistakes as learning opportunities and talk about them and celebrate them. All of those kind of go together. Show how you value mistakes and how the world should value mistakes, and then encourage that within your own student. Encourage your student to work through challenges and to problem solve. So remember, growth mindsets, they result in determination and grit, and fixed mindsets result in frustration and learned helplessness. So if you really want to help your student to achieve determination and have that grit within themselves, you should really start to push them and support that growth mindset at home as much as you can. I have lots of other resources. I keep mentioning this on my STEM website. So like I said, again, go to the growth mindset page, the button right there, family resources, and it will take you to some videos, some articles, some studies. There's lots of things there. Before you go, you can do this yourself. You are capable, even if you're just learning about this. So believe in yourself because it's really powerful. If you have a growth mindset already, embrace it and pass that along to your student. And if you have a fixed mindset, we can change that. It can be learned, so help to support your student in their own growth of having a growth mindset. And just a reminder, I am always available to assist in any way that I can. Here are some references that I used for this presentation, so good luck with the growth mindset. You got this.